All right, cool. Hans still here with my guy, Malik Scott. How you feeling today, man?
Yes, sir. I'm good, man. Bless. Here in the UK, spending some time with my in-laws, and it's holidays, and doing some tutorials, and also training some young and up-and-coming fighters over here. And I'll be heading back to the States pretty soon, in the next few days.
Got it, man. Well, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff, man. Hope everything's
Same
going
to you,
good.
bro.
All right, man. So, let's talk about obviously the big fight that just happened,
Yeah.
Usyk and Fury too. Seems like Usyk has his number and pretty much everybody else's number. So, and instead of really asking you about the fight, um, I wanted to ask you, do you consider Usyk an all-time great heavyweight right now? And like, where would you put him in the top 10, top 20, top 15, top five? Where would you kind of put him?
Well, you have to. If we talk about what he's done from day one in boxing, you would have to put him in the highs of the elite and the greats, because name something that a man can do in boxing accomplishment wise that he hasn't done. Name a title that one can have in boxing that he hasn't had.
Mm,
Name an Olympic medal that one can win that he didn't win. So to go against that is like almost just trying to go against the quote unquote, um, um, it's just trying to go against anything that is besides right. Does he has loopholes in his game? Absolutely, like every other fighter. But is he extremely dedicated? Has he been breaking these big dudes down like nobody has ever? Absolutely, absolutely. And the other night it was a classic. It wasn't just a classic performance he put on. I actually thought Fury did very well. He just didn't do enough to me to win the fight.
mm. When you look at Usyk, I mean, I think everybody has him as like an all-time great fighter. But like I remember I
Yeah.
just saw Tim Bradley just said that, he's not like an all-time great heavyweight because he only has about I think he has about seven fights. I mean, six out of those seven are really great wins though. But would you put him
Yes.
like in the top 10-ish, like with like guys like Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, stuff like that, or you gotta put him a little lower?
He would definitely go under them thus far. But
Mhm.
he would definitely go, especially under them too. He'll definitely go under them. He'll go under the Larry Holmes. He'll go under like the guys that's been legends way before he was in even in the heavyweight division.
Mhm.
But he has a fight, or anybody that's pro Usyk, they have a strong stance in saying, well, those guys never did what he did. He's a smaller man and came from a lower weight class and actually have accomplished what them guys have already accomplished. And right now, um, it's very tough to see probably anybody beating them. And the reason I say that, especially these big guys, if they don't change their mind frame of this size thing, they won't beat them. If you think all you have to do is be big and you beat Alexander Usyk, you're sadly mistaken. And you're going to realize you're sadly mistaken once you get in the ring with him. I hate to say it, man. I mean, skills pay bills. It's about skills. Like
Mhm.
his whole system is about skills, and he has a hell of a morale behind those skills. It's the
Yeah.
spirit that's behind those skills as well. But it's almost like, man, uh, he's a shocker to those that don't know what they're looking at. But for those like myself that have had almost 8 to 11 training camps with him, I've been all over with him. Ukraine, USA, back to Ukraine, USA. I remember when they was cruiserweight champion and they was already plotting on the heavyweight division. They been had Joshua in their plans, bro. They been had Joshua in plans. Ben already was talking about the him and the Fury fights, things like that. So they didn't just have a plan for him and his people for him to be cruiserweight champion. They had a plan for him to also be cruiserweight champion, undisputed heavyweight champion, and to defend the title, because he's the only fighter that I know that's this accomplished that hasn't said anything about retiring yet. I don't know if that's an Americanized thing or is that a Ukrainian thing, but it's almost like the closer and closer, or the more and more um, American fighters, the more success they get, the more they start talking about retiring.
Mhm.
Like they asked him the other day, who else is he considered fighting? He's like, I got a whole lot more left. Daniel Dubois came up to him in the ring. He's not looking down at Daniel, saying, I already beat you, not just beat you, but I stopped you. He's like, okay, Turkey set the fight up.
Mhm.
And But just skill for skill, pound for pound, the way he mastered distance and he punched harder than he's given credit for, he's going to be very, very hard to beat. You have to keep, and that's my reality side talking, my very logical side. But then I also have another side where you can't forget the Martin Bacolis of the division that gave him hell in training camp. You can't forget the Martin Bacolis of the division, the big Zhangs of the division, that southpaw, that's big imposing guys. But this big imposing thing on him is a reason that these big guys is not just going in there imposing themselves. I truly believe is because once they get in there, they're dealing with the rhythm and they're dealing with a style that they haven't seen yet. And I also believe a lot of these guys are not training for the long run in fights. These big guys, they have plans on wearing him down, and they come across like they're not even ready for the second half of the fight. When that's what Usyk trains for.
Mm.
His whole suffering in training camp is for the second half. He's in it for the marathon. You may have a couple rounds on him at the beginning. To me, Tony Bellew was doing an incredible job with him at the beginning. Um, Anthony Joshua was doing a good job with him at the beginning, tit for tat, power punch here, tit for tat. Tyson Fury, the first fight, hell of a job. But bro, he's in it for the long run. He want to see what kind of man you is from 6 through 12.
Mm.
And if you haven't been drilling in camp while you're tired, and you haven't been pushing yourself in camp while you're tired, your whole training camp have to be based around training doesn't start until I'm tired with him.
Yeah.
If you're facing the Usyk, because he doesn't get started until 6 through 12. And it's an onslaught that they never seen before. I mean, this dude is hitting guys with power shots from here, from here, from here, then moving his head. Like, and Fury did extremely well the other night, like extremely. You should see some of the nuances that I see and that I watch him do. I'm like, man, this big 280, 75 pound, whatever thing it was. I'm like, man, he was doing some good stuff, but it just wasn't enough. Fury did good quality work more than this fight. He wasn't as busy as he was the first fight. This fight, it was good quality work. He wasn't getting hit with the left hook as much because he had his right hand here. He was throwing his right hand straight down the middle a whole lot more. He was controlling Usyk a whole lot more with his lead hand and actually shutting his left side down. That side that Usyk liked to go to, Usyk, Fury was shutting that side down with the left hook. Even if it was at his guard, he was moving him over there to put him in line with the right hand. Fury didn't gas out. He wasn't looking all sloppy at the end. He fought a very good fight. But him fighting a very good fight, it goes to show how good Usyk is because even Fury fought a very good fight. I still felt that he lost. And I was fine with what was it, 116, 112?
Yep, all three of them.
Yeah, I was fine with that because a lot of those beginning rounds, they could have went either way. And they shouldn't just go to Fury because he Fury. No, it becomes very subjective at that time. Like, who think who won, who what judge. It depends on what you're looking at. But when it's concerning ring generalship, you have to count that. I thought they both did a good job at ring generalship. I thought the level of the pace was very high skilled and high level, technically wise, high level. And it's so much to gain from the fight for big men and mid-sized men that's in the heavyweight division. How to control a little man, how to stop a southpaw from getting his left hand off because Usyk couldn't get the left hook off as much. So, like a great champion, he adapted. He made all his shots to the body. He put the left straight down to the body, and he even put left hook, right hook down to the body. He wasn't doing that a lot the first fight. There's so many improvements that I've seen. I don't want to say improvements. There's so many adjustments that I've seen from both of them that they practice and they exercise in the rematch. And it was just a good night for boxing, man, and a very good night for the heavyweight division.